Most scientists won't tell you this, but there's proof that God exists, and the proof can be found all throughout nature. This world that we live in was masterfully thought out and orchestrated in a perfect way. I'm going to explain how God's signature is on everything, including us. God created mathematical design. There's a sequence of number that sets the standard of design all throughout nature. This natural code is called the Fibonacci sequence. This sequence was named after Leonardo Fibonacci, who was an Italian mathematician during the medieval times.
The Fibonacci sequence is a pattern of numbers that continues on infinitely. The premise behind the series is that to get the next number in the sequence, you add up the previous two numbers. The series begins with 0, the second number is 1. To find the third number, we add the last two, 0 plus 1 equals 1. Continuing on, we would add the 1 plus the 1, giving us 2. To get the next number, we would add the previous 2 again. 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, giving us our sixth number. The seventh would be found by adding the fifth and sixth numbers together, so that's 8. We would then get 13, then 21, 34, 55, 89, on and on. This is all fine and dandy, but what's the big deal with this sequence? Well, these numbers and the relationship that they have to each other seem to appear over and over again in art, music, architecture, and nature. For example, you can use the numbers as dimensions to make a bunch of boxes and then draw a spiral through them.
But wait, there's more. This sequence can be translated into a ratio called the golden ratio. This ratio is what the human body follows.
Another interesting aspect of the sequence is that if you divide any number by the previous number, you'll get a value that's surprisingly close to 1.61803398875. For example, 89 divided 55 is about 1.61818. 144 divided 89 is 1.61797. What is the significance of the number 1.61803398875? Get ready for the big reveal. 1.61803398875 is the golden ratio. And if that wasn't a big enough reveal for you, how about this? Here's Paul Davids with a few words on the golden ratio. That's right, this is officially a collab.
The golden ratio is great. It's basically where a smaller and a larger quantity, usually the length of something, have the same ratio to each other as the combined length relates to the bigger one. And this goes on indefinitely, bigger and smaller. And using fancy math, we can calculate that ratio called phi. And as you said, that's roughly 1.618. But the cool thing is, just like with the Fibonacci sequence, we see that ratio coming back in nature, like the way seeds and plants and even humans grow. For example, the ratio hand to forearm is in that golden ratio.
Let's say someone wanted to create a series of masterpieces, and they wanted people to know that they created it without exactly saying they created it. They would leave clues and patterns and things in the artwork, in the masterpiece, that would help you to know they made it without them saying it. For example, look at these paintings. You could look at them and you could probably tell that they were created by the same artist because they look similar, they just have a similar style and feel and pattern to them. And in the same way, the creator of this universe has left his stylized clues and patterns within his masterpieces.
And that's because when we look to nature, we see that so many things flourish when they go to the golden ratio design and when they follow this sequence. Growing and expanding to the rate of the golden ratio spiral allows the maximum amount of rain to be directed down to the roots of many plants. And remarkably, when you study nature, you see the golden Fibonacci numbers like 3, 5, 8, 13, all of that again and again in the seed pattern spirals of plants, as well as in the number of petals. Next time you're bored and have a sunflower, try counting the number of seeds in the sunflower spiral, the golden ratio. Or maybe try something else with a spiral, like a pine cone or pineapple. So we could spend all day counting the seeds of flowers and plants and fruit. I mean, you get the idea. But we don't just see this golden ratio sequence on a small scale. This ratio is the mathematical sequence in the spirals of our storms, tornadoes, hurricanes. These all spin in this golden sequence, 1 to 1.6. Even the waves can be measured using this ratio. But it doesn't stop there. Modern technology continues to be mystified by the far-reaching scope of the golden ratio, from the alignment of the planets to the spirals of our Milky Way galaxy.
Look at the tip of your finger. What do you see? What do you see in your fingerprint? As I previously mentioned, an artist will leave his clues and patterns to let you know that he created it without exactly saying he created it. The creator of the galaxies, nature, animals, and humans is the same creator. In the book Improbable Planet, Dr. Hugh Ross explains how the spiral shape is the only shape that can support human life. Dr. Ross is a former atheist who found God through his studies as an astrophysicist. In future videos, I will discuss more of Dr. Ross's scientific discoveries that actually support the Bible. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. The creator of the universe left clues for us. But not only did he leave clues, he designed us in a way that we are superior when it comes to finding patterns. How great is that? That he made clues for us to find him, and he designed us in a way that it would be easy for us to find him. The neocortex is the part of the brain that detects patterns. According to scientific research, the human brain is far more superior to finding patterns than computer algorithms. In my research of the human's ability to find patterns, I came across an interesting article about how the McDonald's restaurant got started. I'll read it. It was common in the 1940s for the corner drugstore to order one multi-mixer to prepare milkshakes, even two if it was a large operation. But when multi-mixer salesman Ray Kroc received an order for 10 mixers from a restaurant in California, this outlier pattern caught his attention. Why would a restaurant need that many? His curiosity got the best of him. He traveled to San Bernardino, California to meet the owners of the restaurant, Dick and Mac McDonald. There, Kroc discovered a restaurant that attracted hundreds of patrons each day, filled orders in 15 seconds, and made 20,000 milkshakes monthly. Kroc declared that he had to become involved in this. His discovery helped Kroc launch McDonald's restaurant with the famous Golden Arches today, one of the most successful fast food restaurant chains in the world. What will you discover when you recognize the pattern? That's a good question, but my question to you is, how can we see all of these marvelous mathematical designs all throughout nature and believe that this could have formed from a non-intelligent nothing?